Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the official sponsored day from Bullion Now, Friday. You may notice that I am flying solo, but I assure you I have a very skilled co-pilot in Ruben on the other side of the camera.
And we're still waiting for Michael.
And I'm already blurry because I move around too much. So basically the reason we're doing this is to illustrate a point, and that is Matt and Ruben are always prepared, no matter what. Rain, hail or shine, 2:30, the stream is the top priority. Michael, he could be in Brisbane right now. I have no idea. He could be anywhere. So
it's a little social experiment. We'll wait and see.
We need to set up a countdown timer or a count up timer to see how long it is before Michael turns up for the 2:30 stream. So maybe we can get a poll going. Do we think it's going to be more or less than 5 minutes before Michael turns up for the stream? We'll kick things off nice and slow with a poll. What do you think, Ruben?
Let's do it.
I just heard a door.
I did hear a door. Although there was some issues with me logging into YouTube chat before, which impacts our ability to do polls.
Oh, okay. So, well, maybe just mention in the comments. Start guessing some times. As of 2:32, will we see him before or after 2:35, say? I think after. That could be him now.
He's knocking. He's coming.
He's knocking. Oh, look out.
All right.
The jig's up.
The jig is indeed up. I think maybe someone watching the stream up the other end might have said, hey, do you know that they've actually started?
Are on. What's going on?
It's not like we've been...
Have we started yet? We are on. It's happening. I've been trying to tap dance here and keep everyone entertained.
Unbelievable.
I've been panicked. No one's noticed. I've held it together nicely, but I was a nervous wreck.
I apologise for my tardiness.
Yeah, well, I said we were illustrating a point. I don't even know what I was trying to get at. I was trying to put some estimations in the chat. I'm just seeing an array of numbers. I don't know what any of it means. 6, 5, 4.
I think that it started how many seconds, and then it turned just into a countdown of how long.
And then numbers just started coming through.
Yep,
but you made it. Well done. Welcome to your stream.
Did we welcome everyone to Friday?
I did. Yeah. Well, you weren't here for it.
Well,
yeah.
And the queue is literally out the door, round the corner. It's huge. Are we going to get the comments up on the screen, Rubes? Or
YouTube seems to be airing out on me. I'm getting their monkey with a hammer logo instead of an actual chat.
Yeah, something went wrong. Well, this was also communicated very clearly to me before we went live. But I said, Ruben, look, it's 2:30. We've made a promise to the BN family. We're going to be here no matter what. Even if no one else shows up or YouTube doesn't show up, I think we're on.
We are on.
I can see a version of the chat, but we don't have the main one we normally refer to. Yeah, put yourself on mute, mate. See, actually, this illustrates another point. This is why we're usually a little late, a few minutes after 2:30, because we need to come in, sit down,
take a breath,
put ourselves on mute.
Yeah,
get our bearings.
Takes a while to get organised, doesn't it? Calypso Moon, we are very, very soon getting a larger retail store in Melbourne and in Pakenham.
Really? Yeah. Well, is there any give us the update.
The update. Oh, we're already up to updates, are we?
Well, I don't know. We may as well start from the top.
All right, sounds good. So the Pakenham store, which I'm incredibly excited about.
Yeah.
The hot goss on that is that the NBN gets connected to it on Monday, coming Monday. So we will have internet there. We can do a live stream from there even.
Yeah, so live stream sometime in September then is what I'm reading into that.
Tuesday they start cabling in all the security system.
Woo,
so
cool.
That will take several days. Wednesday the vaults start going in. So overly excited about that. So we are at this stage on target to have a launch day somewhere towards the end of September, possibly a smidge into October.
Is this the type of thing though? I'm hearing 3 different sets of trade folk. Does this all need to sync up?
Absolutely.
Watch this space for potentially a stressed out Michael next Friday if one of them falls over.
Mate, I'm already stressed out, I can tell you.
That'd be good.
And it's funny talking to the security guys because they've got to wire in. I think I was saying this to you guys this morning. They've got to coordinate with the vault guys to be there to connect it all, because if the vault gets constructed in a slightly different order, then they have to drill into the vault, which takes them 2 days or something of drilling.
Unreal.
Just to get into the vault. So there's a lot of coordination going on there.
Sorry, that's just me trying to log in.
My phone. I'm trying to turn my phone on silent because otherwise you're going to hear it ringing and all sorts of things all during the live stream.
Do you need it though to
No, I've logged myself in. We're good. We're good.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, so it's coming along. Look, it's actually better than I expected. I thought I'd be fighting with the tradies a lot longer than this.
Wow.
But to their credit, and I don't have permission to mention who they are, but I will try and get permission. But the security guys have been, they've turned themselves inside out. They've been really good. So,
that's good.
if you need a security company, let me know, and I can certainly recommend one very, very highly. They are
Hold your horses.
Actually, I'll just mention them anyway. I don't think they'll get upset. So it's OnTech, ONTECH, I believe it is.
That's familiar. I've heard of them before.
Yeah, they've done a lot of our security stuff.
Yeah, cool.
So they are very, very good. So if you're in the market for security, this is not a sponsored advert or anything along those lines.
This is not security advice.
Yeah, they don't give me a kickback or anything along those sort of lines, but they are incredibly good, and they've been incredibly good to us over the years. So
very good.
A big shout out to them, and they're doing well. The other
Another
shop.
update.
So we have the Melbourne shop is expanding. We're not moving it. We are absolutely staying here. I know a few people have been worried that because we're opening Pakenham, we're abandoning the Melbourne CBD. We are absolutely not. In fact, we're doubling down, and we are expanding the shop into next door that are currently diamond dealers. So we believe, and I haven't had a chance to confirm with them. I've been trying to get in there all week to have a yarn, but I believe towards the end of September we'll take delivery of that, and it'll take us a few weeks to get the shop fitters in to tizzy it up.
So this side of 2025, we're thinking. We're hoping.
I'm hoping it's expanded before Christmas. So, yeah.
Watch this space.
And then we have to start talking international. Well, no, interstate first, not international. Ruben won't let me talk about the international one.
Yet. Yeah.
Just baby steps,
But I like Texas.
That's going to be crazy. Plus the Dreamliner to get over there. It's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah. My little Cherokee 140, mate. All the way.
Yep. And we've started on aviation. Welcome to what actually happens on a Friday.
8 minutes in and we're already getting stuck into aviation.
We've got Gwydia joining us. Good to see a live stream live and not on Saturday. Normally someone that watches after the fact and is catching us live. So
Nice. Welcome. You'll find it's a different energy watching it on 1 time speed as well. Because if you're watching it after, I'd go 2 times for sure.
I don't know how you do that. I know that you're a big fan of it. I tried it.
I don't know how you don't. For a guy that processes information, maybe you take things in a lot more than I do. And I'm just blasting through, wanting to get through it as quickly as possible.
I don't know if have you ever seen Over the Hedge?
Yeah, the animated. Yeah, I have.
You know what is he, a squirrel or something in that thing?
Yeah, he's pretty
hammy,
high intensity.
That's who you remind me of frequently.
Oh, good.
And I always come back to the scene where they feed him. I can't even remember the story now, but they need him to do something, and they feed him caffeine, and they do it from his perspective, where the whole world is. He's got all this time to do everything because of how slow the rest of the world is. That reminds me of you every single time.
Oh, well, now that you've said that, I'm sure someone in chat's going to come up with an illustration of...
That's right.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, as long as it's a positive association, I'll take it. Very good.
Oh, good. We should get back on topic. So, 80%. 80%.
You're all living in the slow lane.
Oh, come on, man.
Unreal.
Some of us like to be normal.
Yep. Not my cup of tea at all.
Unbelievable.
Faster. Yeah, look, now you're getting crazy there, Ruben.
Yeah, well, chat's working again, so.
All good fun. Alrighty.
What do we got?
What's the goss, Rubes? We've done the breakdown on Pakenham and Melbourne.
William's wanting you to launch into some platinum, which obviously is a topic you hate to talk about.
Yeah.
4th time I've given this sermon today.
Yeah.
They say, please any comment on platinum over the next couple of years. Thank you.
Do I have a comment for you? Look, I've made no secret about it for the last 18 months or so. I've been a big fan of platinum. So for those that don't know the history of platinum, it was frequently more expensive, used to always be more expensive than gold. And hence why you go to your Amexes or your airline cards or any of those things. The platinum is the premium membership, if you like, and then it usually goes gold, silver, bronze sort of scenarios. I don't know, I need to look it up, but a little while ago, coincidentally, VW got smacked pretty hard for doing the dirty with their emissions comments, if you like, and they were using platinum catalytic converters, as was most of the industry. Now, coincidentally, at the same time, they passed some of the blame over to their platinum catalytic converter, but the whole industry was converting from platinum catalytic converters to palladium, because platinum, palladium and rhodium are the inert metals, and they're fairly interchangeable, although you'd never interchange with rhodium because it's so expensive. But palladium was much cheaper than platinum was at the time. It was, kind of around that $1,000, $1,200 Australian per ounce, whereas palladium at that time was up around the platinum at that time was up around $3,000 an ounce. So they spent all the money, they moved over to palladium catalytic converters, which caused this huge overhang on the market, and the price plummeted down to about that $1,000, $1,200 an ounce, and palladium shot up to over the price of gold. So they just changed places. So we've seen for many years now this oversupply, this overhang of platinum in the industry. Now that has started to disappear now, particularly with the new technologies that are coming down the pike. We're seeing a lot of, obviously, the solar cells, batteries, all these types of things that are using platinum. A lot of the environmentally friendly technologies that we're developing and the governments around the world are pushing us towards, they quite often have platinum bases. So the demand for platinum is increasing quite a bit. Platinum is a very difficult metal to find, to mine, to
refine?
Yeah, refine, and then turn it into whatever you want to turn it into to work with. Hence why you see, when you're buying platinum bars and coins, the premium on them is usually quite a bit higher than, say, gold, because they are difficult to work with. So because of that difficultness, the industry is saying, several industries are saying, well, we want supply. The industry that's supplying them is saying, well, hang on a sec, it's not really economical for us to supply at these sort of prices, so we need the prices to start moving up. And we're starting to see the early days of the prices moving up. We're now around that $1,400 an ounce, whereas 12 months ago or so, we were around about that $1,000 an ounce. So we're seeing it move up. On the supply side, it's difficult because there are a few smaller mines around the world, but the main supply of platinum comes out of South Africa, which is a basket case on its best days. No insult intended there to any South Africans present, but it's difficult to work with industry in South Africa. And then the other major source is Russia, and obviously that's out of bounds these days. We're not allowed to do anything with Russia. So you're left with very limited supply and a growing demand in both in industry, both in medical. A lot of the modern medicines, we were talking to a customer fairly recently that was going through some cancer treatments, and he was quite excited because the medication they were giving him was platinum based. So all these uses for platinum are expanding, and they're modern uses, and the government is pushing us into it. So even though we're looking on the edge, I believe we actually are in a form of recession now. But even if you don't, the world is talking about the fact that we are looking down the precipice of a recession. Even if we move into recession, pretty much every mainstream government around the world has committed to going carbon neutral, in the next 10 minutes sort of thing. So to do that, we have to move towards these technologies. So more and more, irrespective of whether we're in recession or not, more and more we're being pushed into this these platinum-based technologies. So to summarise, I'm seeing growing demand, reducing supply or restricted supply, and we're seeing the price move up slowly. The negative against it is obviously if we do go into recession or possibly a depression, that affects industry, and industry is very much platinum's 99% of platinum is used in industry. There's very little of it used in anything other than industry. So if industry starts to suffer, the price will come back a bit. So that's kind of the play for platinum.
I have a query that's sort of perhaps a little left field.
Yep.
Do we ever see platinum nuggets? Like just naturally formed nuggets, or it's only the refined stuff that we ever see? Or is there any desire for that type of thing?
Not that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, it does come out. It usually runs in seams and that sort of stuff. And it usually comes up in a basket of things. It's, what do they call it? PGM? PSM? I'm having a mental blank, but basically it comes up with, platinum and palladium. They're all kind of arrive in the same rock, the same ore body.
But generally not in a, present... Because you know how some of those natural nuggets, the gold nuggets that we had come through, they look really quite impressive, but I can't think of a time that I've ever seen...
No, and
platinum nuggets or something like that in a jewellery form or something.
Gold in nugget form is actually unusual as well. It's traditionally what we think, particularly in Australia, because most of our gold comes in nugget form.
Yeah.
But most of the rest of the world, I think California's similar to us as well, but most of the rest of the world, they don't get it in nugget form so much.
Yeah.
It comes in, again, it's, mixed in with quartz and, you're removing a ton of rubble to get 4 grams or 3 grams of gold out of it, sort of thing. So it's the nugget form of any of those sorts of things is pretty rare or pretty unusual.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
So that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah,
the lecture you didn't want.
But you asked for it, so you got it. You're welcome.
All the arguments that people have for silver, its uses and all that sort of stuff. If you're a big silver buff, then I would say you should be a platinum one, because platinum has all the same arguments as silver and more, and the fact that it's far harder to, far rarer, I suppose. Silver is very much a byproduct of our mining operations, whereas platinum is not. You have to go specifically hunting for it. So every argument you've got for silver carries double for platinum. This is not financial advice.
Nakas O'Reilly, has the delivery / mail out time improved at BN?
It has. It's not back where we want it yet, but it's certainly improving. And I have to admit, it's one of those, what do they call it, perfect storms, where we're kind of catching up, but we're also kind of prepping to move out to Pakenham. So it's kind of, while we're catching up on one side, we're actually losing ground on the other.
Yep.
So it could be a few weeks before we're actually back to where I want to be, but we are catching up.
All right, now this is an important one, Michael. There is a comment there from SDI Custom asking, what do sultanas come in?
Have no clue. What are we talking about here?
Gotcha there, Rubes. What are you going to do now?
Have you been hiding? Have you been holding out on me again, Rubes? You got something for me?
SDI Custom, I hope you know that Michael is joking. Because I can't go through this again. I absolutely promise you, I will send you, if I can find it, the CCTV of Michael opening this.
I'll tell you what, I'll go one better. So if Ruben can actually get these up online fairly quickly, I'm going to... This is the dangers of live
For those
TV.
that aren't SDI Custom watching, they've sent us in a package, and last time some of it may have disappeared, and so this time they were wanting to make sure that it absolutely went to Michael, and Michael, being a little bit of a jokester, is perpetuating the idea that it didn't make it to him, when I can confirm it absolutely did.
I know that's... There you go. I've just shot you on Telegram the 2 photos. If you could show the non-chocolate one first.
I haven't got it yet.
We're going on slow-mo mode. What's going on here? I'll change Wi-Fi's.
And this is why you need 2 times speed.
Boring. I can't do it on that one. All right. Has it come across yet, Rubes? When it eventually arrives.
No worries.
I don't know why it's gone slow, man.
Troy wants to know where's the 2 times speed now. We can't go
Totally
through
agree.
it live, sadly.
So I've just sent a couple of photos over to Ruben if he can download them and put them up.
So you said you wanted the non-chocolate one first?
Yeah, the non-chocolate one first. So to give some background to this, we received a parcel from STI Custom earlier this week, and it sounded very attractive when I picked it up and gave it a shake. And on the outside it said only to be opened by Michael in very large letters. So it was handed over dutifully to me. And then when I get a chance, how close are you, Rubes?
It'll be a second.
Okay. So I'll come back to that story in a moment.
Well, I can put it up, but it'll be sideways.
Oh, I don't care.
You get the idea.
So when I opened the box, this is the photo. This is the piece of paper that greeted me. So we'll go to the next one in a second, Reg, if you want to get it ready. So is your name Michael? Do you own Bullion Now? Do you answer no to either question? If you do, shut the box, take it to Michael. Which I thought was a bit of a classic. And then I pulled it out, and then underneath was hiding this. No, okay, it wasn't hiding under there.
In about 5 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1, and there we go.
Whoa.
So
what a haul.
SDI Custom obviously knows my weakness.
Yeah.
So I've been dutifully munching my way through some of those, and you can see those two packets with masking tape on them. Unfortunately, they weren't for me.
What?
Yeah, can you believe it? I had to hand over some of the stash to Ruben, and Sylvia hasn't got hers yet, but if I haven't eaten it, I'll get it down to Sylvia.
Yeah, perfect. Very nice.
Very much appreciated, SDI. It caused a lot of joy around the shop. I gave one packet to Brett and Oscar, and they've been munching their way through them. And
nice.
So yeah, we shared them around a bit. It was good.
There was a comment from Aussie Girl earlier saying thank you for the signed Sydney Bullion Now bar that we sent out and we showed on stream last week.
That was
signed
a bit of fun. Of those, haven't we?
We have now. It's you've started a trend.
Yeah.
These things we commit to on a stream and then work out after the fact that we need to follow through on. It's good. Keeps us running around.
It certainly does keep us running around. There is no doubt about that.
Interesting
but
one
it's all
here.
part of the fun.
Interesting one here that I have to admit I'm not 100% sure of how we would run it. But it says, would you consider doing a digital allocated program?
A digital what? Digital gold? I guess, see, in some ways, it depends what you mean by digital gold. So in some ways we kind of do. And I say this very hesitatingly by saying the unallocated program. It is backed by metal, and I wouldn't do it any other way. I don't believe so. I wouldn't offer a paper contract. I wouldn't offer a crypto digital, those types of things. But if you're talking about an actual backed unallocated program, then yes, we actually run one of those now. If that answers the question.
Now, no one's asked for this one, but I saw something up the other end that is...
the question no one asked for.
Yeah.
No. Because people have been asking about it, and it's an important update. I saw something arrive up the other end before I came down here, in a certain puzzle shape.
Yeah. It looks like, I haven't counted up all the boxes because after that delivery, another box turned up randomly by itself. But LCSs, little coin shops, Rubik's Cubes have shown up. So hopefully early next week, the last of those will start to be sent out. So, and I don't even think Bailey knows they've turned up yet. So I don't think they've hit the inwards goods. So Bailey, if you're listening, they have arrived. I don't think I can fit them all in the car, but certainly some of them will be coming down with me tonight for shipping early next week.
Woo.
That's the answer no one asked for.
Yeah. Just, people have been asking.
Yeah, someone's wondering.
Just not right now. A few people there talking about their signatures for ones. I didn't reply to any of the emails, to be honest. I just grabbed the numbers of people that requested it. So if you sent it through to live, I've definitely got it. The sales one, I'm not 100%, but if you sent it through to live@bullionnow.com.au, I have passed those numbers along, and we've got a bit of a.
There's one in the sales emails as well, and I'm actually a little bit of a head in the sand. I think we've actually sent that one out. So I might be in a bit of trouble with that one.
Now, well, we'll just have to do another world tour.
Yeah,
coming to a city near you.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the other ones then have been taken care of and written down somewhere to be signed or have been signed.
Cool. One from Aussie Girl there for you, Matt.
Yeah, hit it.
The Maundy coins. You did a
little video on those. That was fascinating. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Maundy sets. So they're giving.
I know of them. That's about as far as I'd go.
Oh well, it was I had an awareness of their existence. I'd seen them when I managed the Sydney shop, but they're a set that's distributed by the monarch at the Maundy Thursday ceremony, so the Thursday before Good Friday, and it was a tradition that dates back to King John in the 17th century.
Excellent.
And they give out as many sets that correlate with the age of the monarch to members of the elderly community who have made contributions to society and the church. And it's just like as a goodwill gesture from the monarch. But during the reign of Queen Victoria, as is always the case, and as we see, collectors start to catch wind of these things, and then they started to have to produce, over 1,000 at a time, rather than 30 for Queen Victoria. It was over 1,000, and collectors started to get involved, and it still happens to this day. King Charles did the Maundy ceremony and distributed sets, and the Royal Mint sold them through the.
So I'm assuming they produce more than 1,000 of them now.
I think it'd be huge. It'd probably be well in the thousands now, but. Yeah, it was a very interesting set. Like the kind of thing, as what'll happen when we chat about these later on. It's the things that you come across in this industry, and then you do a little bit of research. Next minute, you're down the rabbit hole. And
way down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and and funnily enough, there was an example, and because it's one of those things. As soon as I hear something like that, they were distributed to predominantly members of the elderly community. I thought surely there's an exception to that, and there was in 1897. Princess Maud, she was only 7 years old, and she got one, but it's because she was the granddaughter of the Queen. So she had friends in high places.
That's right. So Aussie Girl wants you to do one on internment tokens, and they're fascinating.
Yeah, they're so interesting. That whole period of Australian history. How's this? I lived in Liverpool, and I used to get the train, and I would literally be looking into the old internment camp, which is now the army barracks.
Yeah.
And I was explaining that to my wife, and she had been at that station on many an occasion. And then I said,
she's a Sydney-sider, isn't she? Yeah, she probably had no clue, did she?
100%, no idea. And then I said, that's where the internment camp was. And she said, So there's so much of Australian history, and obviously we're such a young nation in the grand scheme of things, but there's so much of that kind of thing that it's a little, and I guess this ties in with the whole bullion education side of what this business is all about. There's so much that just doesn't get discussed, and it doesn't filter through to our education system for, I don't know why, but there's so much Australian history that just gets.
I think a lot of it we're going way down the rabbit hole now, but I think a lot of it we're almost ashamed of, or almost, and like rather than, I'm really on thin ice here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and be careful, but I find that when I'm in Berlin, in Germany, where there's a reluctance to, because some of human history is not particularly pleasant, we tend to hide from it rather than go, look, it happened. We don't want it. It's a terrible thing, and we don't want it to happen ever again. But we still need to acknowledge it and discuss it, and learn from it.
Yeah,
and make sure we know about it. Not to a morbid perspective, but just from a look. This is part of our rich, colourful, not always great history.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think internment camps are one that we kind of go, well, we shouldn't have done that.
And making sure to not repeat it, which is the entire,
exactly. Like that expression, those that ignore history are doomed to repeat it. It feels a bit like that.
Yeah,
so,
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're way off topic. Yeah. We're on thin ice, like I said, so I'd like to drag us back before.
Walk it back. But that was a very good question. Thanks for the question, Aussie Girl.
The Lunar 2s, they have arrived. They started arriving sometime this week, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah,
more? When does this end? This is a gift that keeps on giving.
This one I'm really excited about because it's silver and gold. And there's Series 1s in there, not just Series 2. And there are 10-ounce ones in there, which is my favourite size. The only thing that we haven't been able to track down yet is 500 grammers, because they made half-kilo Lunars in Series 1 and they cut them off early.
Were they the same diameter as a kilo, just thinner?
No, smaller.
Oh, cool.
And they are just the bee's knees, those things. So
very good.
I was really hoping. Ad's got me excited because he was reading out the list of, this is what's arrived, and half kilo this and blah. And I went, whoa, half kilo. And he goes, oh no, half ounce. You mongrel.
Good stuff.
So, so they have arrived. They've got to be processed, guys. Please don't phone up and say, I want. There's enough in there that you'll get a fair crack at it for a few minutes when we release them. But we haven't even processed them. We're not even fully sure what is there. We do know that one part of the delivery got damaged, and a lot of the capsules got damaged. So that has delayed a good chunk of it, and new capsules, whichever way around it goes, have been sourced from Perth Mint, so they will still be genuine capsules around those coins as well. They haven't arrived yet. They should arrive fairly soon. So it'll be a few weeks before you see them online, but they have started to arrive. We are starting to process them. There is a rumour going around that we might release what we've got next week, but that's a rumour at this stage.
Oh, very good. I feel like I'm in the loop now.
Yeah.
I'm being told there might be a special, Michael.
What?
Oh, did we ever sort that out?
I'm being told it's been sorted out.
So we're
professionals.
we're going to do that. We're going to do that at 2:29. I thought. Have a meeting.
I'm being told it's sorted out, which is why I brought it up. I didn't just randomly decide
Is the
to drop
website
it.
ready for it?
IT said if it wasn't, they were going home for the day. So,
And they're not responding to messages anymore.
So let's talk about 1966 50s. What do you know about them, Matt?
What a time to be alive.
1966?
Yeah.
You remember it well, do you, mate?
Nah, but I think about it often. And I talk about it often. So this is another great example of a cool piece of Australian history and Australian numismatic history. Oh, what an angle. Unreal. Ruben coming in with the goods. So, and this is something that I need to perhaps jump down the rabbit hole on, and I don't know who to speak to find out, but I have never been able to give someone a straight answer when they ask me, so from 1910 to 1946, we had 92.5% silver. From 1947 to 1964, it was all 50%. So why on earth did, in 1966, we decide to go with one silver coin made of silver, and it's 80%? Do you have any idea how we landed on that?
Because they were cutting back on their silver usage by only using one coin, not all the coins all the way through.
So how 80%? Why not just go, okay, people are accustomed to a 50% silver florin.
Because I don't think it would have been accepted at that stage for a 50-cent piece to be that little silver.
Yeah?
Doesn't really make sense. Though,
I don't know. The whole thing didn't make sense, but that's what I find fascinating about it.
I honestly, I couldn't tell you why, but they obviously backed out of it as quick as they could because they only did it for a year.
Well, yeah, so sure. Well, it wasn't long before two issues cropped up. One being it was almost indistinguishable for people with vision impairments to discern between a 50-cent and a 20-cent coin, being of a very similar diameter. Do we have a 20-cent coin handy?
Everyone's reaching for their wallet.
In this economy?
Of course. Matt's, what are you, Gen Z or something? Oh. So he doesn't have a wallet.
He's just beat you to a 20-cent piece.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go to that close-up again and do a comparison there, Matt?
Where am I? Who am I?
We often wonder that.
Dear. Yeah, this is spinning me out. So there you go. So you can see how... Oh, gee whiz, and the 50 cents upside down, but you get the gist, right?
The glare is perfect for the vision impairment you were just talking about.
So yeah, the 50 cent is a shiny one, but they were very similar in size. And the other issue obviously became the fact that the value of the silver exceeded 50 cents and went up to about 54 cents, I think. So there was a bit of a run, quite literally a physical run on the banks. There's old news footage of people loading up those... The Hessian bags. Yeah, the Hessian bags, loading them up and then going straight downstairs and dropping them in their vaults. So, yeah, a lot of people cottoned on, and they made, I think it was about 32.5 million, somewhere thereabouts, a bit over 30 million of these.
Because they didn't make circulating 50s for 67, did they?
67 and 68. So 69 was the next one when they actually, came to their senses and brought in the iconic tetradecagonal. How do you say that word? It's a tetradecagon.
Multi-sided shape.
Yeah, multi-sided 50-cent piece that we all know and love. But yeah, I think it represents a really interesting time of change. So, how would you... Were you around then, or you were just sort of just kicking off?
No, I wasn't even kicking off at that point. My parents were just emigrating from the UK at that point.
See, because anytime I
won the grand final, I think, if I'm right.
Okay, well, anytime I meet people and we're chatting about this thing, I always like to know what that period of transition was like, because things don't generally happen quickly. Even in this day and age, we like to think, with all the technological advancements, rolling out any new thing from the government is always fraught with all manner of issues. I can only imagine what it would have been like working in a bank during that period and having to explain to everyone, not just one or two customers, everyone having to go through the conversion table and say, okay, well, you're depositing your florin, so it's now going to be this, but that's not compatible with that. And it must have been an absolute circus. But
it took a couple of years.
Yeah, it wasn't overnight. Well, because they finished up in 64. So 65, nothing. And then 66, Operation Fast Buck was in effect.
That was the one.
Yeah. Which I think that could almost be a little... not a mini series. What's the word? Like a little episode, Operation Fast Buck. Sounds like a James Bond style thing, in the dead of night, everyone zipping around to the banks, dropping off the decimal currency. So I answered the question.
Yeah,
I don't even know what it was.
We wanted to go walkabout on the 1966-50, and I think you did it well.
Yeah, here we are.
So a couple of people have said, are they for sale? They definitely are. And much against my better judgment, they've convinced me to do a special on 1966-50s. And I still, to this moment, don't know why I agreed to it, because they're incredibly popular. And they keep ticking over on the site. So I don't understand why we're... there you go, I'll get off my soapbox. So we're going to do them at a special price, and I believe it's spot plus $1, which works out to be approximately 15-ish bucks.
$15.69 right now.
$15.69. So there you go. Very appropriate or very good deal on these things. Now, before everyone gets excited, because they're looking at these ones as fairly shiny ones, and we had a bag of cleaned ones come through, and I'm guessing most of these are the cleaned ones. They're not all in this condition, okay? Some of them... So even that's a fairly good condition one, but some of them are pretty oldie mouldy, but they're still the equivalent of about a third of an ounce of silver. So a good buy at spot plus $1. And they are, while stocks last, I'm hoping there's enough up there to last out the weekend is what I'd really like. So people watching this not live can still get a chance to go over there and grab some. So... so grab them while they're up there at spot plus $1.
Yeah, ripper. You love to see it. Get a little bit of Australian history in your stack. It's also about approximately a third of an ounce of silver per coin.
It is.
So 3 of those, you're pretty much looking at an ounce. And a very cool talking point. I think they're a great example of something that you can show to friends and family, and, bit of a tidbit you can share at the next barbecue you're at, Has Australia ever issued a round 50-cent coin?
I was at my kids' school canteen once.
Yeah.
And somebody, like one of the kids, paid with 2 round 50-cent pieces. And I couldn't believe it. No one, the teachers, the principal, no one knew what it was.
Really?
I'm thinking, I'm not the oldest person here, guys. Seriously.
But I guess you do have a unique perspective, a unique position within the industry to know what it is.
I understand that, I was going to know, what it was sort of thing. I get that, and I get that I had an unfair advantage there, but I would have thought, this is our education system, for crying out loud. Surely someone knows what Australian currency looks like.
You would
Obviously
hope so.
not.
It's good to dream big.
Yeah. So I just said, look, how about I just replace them with a couple of normal 50s and get them out of the... Oh, yeah, that'd be great if you could do that.
Yeah.
No worries.
Really saved him a lot of headaches.
Yeah, well, didn't I explain to them they were a third of an ounce of silver and they were worth this much? And no, they just wanted 50, like a normal 50-cent piece to replace it.
Yeah, we cannot balance the till.
I'm like, give it here.
Oh, there you go. We've done our public education service for the week. There you go.
Oh, yes. What a worry, eh?
All
good fun.
They're a great highlight as well of just the advantages of silver. I mean, because what was worth, quote unquote, 50 cents in 1966 is now that, $14, $15 kind of mark.
Yeah.
So
if you just kept it in a regular coin, it would still be worth 50 cents.
Whoop, chucking them away. Probably just blew everyone's ears out that's listening with headphones on. I wonder if... So this is now worth far more than its face value. I wonder if plastic will ever go up so much in value that a $5 note will be worth more than its face value.
No, but however, having said that, you raise a very interesting subject, and this is a slippery slope for me. So please, everyone, Ruben, anyone, bail me up when to stop. But I think that Australian banknotes are the absolute pinnacle of banknote technology in terms of security, the advancements that Australia have made, and we don't need to do a video on it because we're talking about it now. But if you put that up against, say, an American banknote, it's just a no contest.
Like, you can't tell the difference between.
Well,
I struggle with American banknotes.
And that's sort of the preliminary, at first glance differences. But all of the tactile features, all the security, the holograms, also known as OVDs, our $5 note in Australia, I think, is just unbelievable. And I think because we see them so often, it's very easy to just dismiss it as, it is what it is. But anytime I take a good look at our banknotes, I'm suitably impressed. I think Australian banknotes are amazing.
The only counter I was going to have to that, because of a rumour that circulated around the internet a while ago, was that the Canadian banknotes were rumoured to smell like maples. Like maple leaves, and that's,
wouldn't shock me. Canada's pretty cool.
Supposedly the bank denied it being a thing, and it was all just a rumor. But I think that would have put them over the top. But
that would have been.
Have you smelled some of the banknotes that we get, mate? They don't just smell like maple.
Yeah. Well,
Ruben's now hiding in the corner.
All those mothballs.
Some banknotes we get in are very aromatic at times.
Yeah.
So. Yes, I remember, it's a few years ago now, but somebody brought in a cluster of aromatic banknotes into the store, and the guys locked them up in the safe overnight, and I came in early the next morning and opened the safe, and far out, it just about knocked me off my feet.
Yep, yeah.
So Canada's not the only one that has aromatic banknotes.
Vegas Stacker asking, is it true that you can't rip Australian currency?
Well, it can be torn, but you can't rip it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's very, very durable.
Yeah.
So it can withstand a fair bit of...
quite a few wash cycles.
Yeah, absolutely, and then some.
Whereas I've seen things of paper notes just disintegrating.
Yeah, you end up with a little bit of paper mache in your pocket. Yeah.
But I mean, I can prove that they tear because we've got half a dozen of them in the back room that we're going to take to the bank. So, yeah, but they don't, like if you stood there and tried to rip them, they're quite difficult.
Yeah.
But the fact that, and look, hands off to, so MPA makes them for the Reserve Bank of Australia. And hats off to them. They do a great job.
Yeah.
The designs are great, the durability's like Matt said. But I think the thing that really sets it off is the fact that they produce other countries' currencies using them because they are so good.
Yeah. Yeah, which is cool. I feel like it's a good... a little bit of, what's the word? National pride in that whole sort of arena, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, Australian technology at its best. So.
Yeah, trailblazers.
What else have we got, Rubes?
Yeah.
There's a question here that's been asked a few times. I might need some more context on it, to be honest. But they say, what is the standard to buy gold or silver from overseas bullion dealers? Also, how to train children to buy gold and silver. I'm assuming just more in an education standpoint and not like how do I send a child in to buy bullion? And what age should we start doing that?
Which question first?
Three-pronged question there. So
take the first one because it's most confusing.
What is the standard to buy gold or silver from overseas bullion dealers?
We're talking standard purity, standard weight?
Like I said, that's why I think I need some, the process or, I'm not sure what the question is. So let's tackle the last two there.
I'm happy to tackle the first one first. Let's take a stab at it. If you're talking about purity, don't look at anything less than 4 nines, in my opinion, my humble opinion. But if you do go less than 4 nines, like if you're bringing in an older style bar that might be 3 nines or 2 nines, something or other, 2 nines 8. Don't go below 2 nines 5 because that starts to incur, it starts to head into GST territory. So you've got to be really aware of that.
Well, back it up for educational purposes. What do you mean by 4 nines 998? What are all these numbers you're shouting at me, Michael?
So it's a measure of purity. So it's 9,999 parts per 10,000. So 99.99% purity. So you'll find that it's got 99.99% gold and the other
Could be a lettuce leaf.
0.01, could be lettuce leaves.
Unlikely, but possible.
Harking back to a previous conversation that some of the earlier, older people like me might remember from 12 months or so ago when there was a bit of a storm in a teacup. So that's what we mean. So the tax department considers anything greater than 99, I think it's 99.5 and greater, is considered to be bullion grade. So I wouldn't look at touching anything less than that. If you're talking about sizes, it doesn't really matter what size you're bringing in. Coins or bars are all good. It's just that purity thing that I would look at along those sort of lines.
Would Bullion Now ever produce a gold-backed note?
Whoa, hold the
Hang
phone.
on.
Weren't there other questions in that question?
Yeah, I was going to say we had two other
You're
questions.
missing prongs, mate.
Oh, we're waiting for the context on the first one.
No, that's okay. That's enough context.
We
Let's do
assume the
other two.
context.
All right.
This is live television.
The later two prongs. How to train children to buy gold and silver.
Cattle prod.
Cane. Paint stirrer.
I don't think we're allowed to say that.
Just did.
Start them young. I think the second part of this question is actually what age.
What age, yeah.
I've got a grandson who's 15 months-ish old, and, we're already playing around with gold and silver and those sorts of things. I don't think you can start early enough. Yeah, sure, they don't understand it at this age, but it becomes part of their psyche. So I know his grandmother on his maternal side, so not my side, but, I guess my son's in-laws. She's a very highly qualified school teacher, and you can tell when she babysits him because he's leaps and bounds ahead with his speech and all that sort of stuff. So as far as I'm concerned, you can never start too young with those sorts of things. You just got to accept that they have very limited knowledge, and you'll be amazed what they pick up. I don't mean pick up and put in their mouth. I mean pick up and learn over time. So I think you can start at any age, but the way to teach them is just, the way you teach anyone. You talk to them about it. This has got this sort of value, and because of its weight and its purity and these types of things. Whereas this is money; it's not backed by anything. It's just an imaginary thing. I'm hoping, and I'm jumping ahead and releasing things that are probably commercially secret, but
time for a zoom in then.
Yeah. We're trying to create a junior stackers bar or coin. We're in discussions with a couple of different manufacturers to try and aid in this type of thing. We'll try and make it as cheap as we possibly can for purchase for, junior stackers. So both they can buy it, grandparents can buy it for them, or parents, and have these discussions. And I'm exploring different ways, like with cartoons and that sort of thing, to try and help get this education across. So stay tuned. Hopefully those sort of things start filtering through. It's not something that's going to happen tomorrow, but in the future, I think it would. I think it's great, and the earlier we can start having these conversations with our kids, the better.
Absolutely.
You've got a little one.
I do, yeah. So
What do you think?
I every time we're reading the Spot the Dog book, I say this isn't just the name of a dog. You need to start understanding concepts. But no, I totally agree.
Does his friends bid and ask?
But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's one of those things where sometimes, and I had a conversation with someone about a week ago, and this sort of ties in with the broader discussion here. And the question they were asking me was, how do I convince my friend that they need to be buying precious metals?
You don't.
And I said, what you are probably going to have better luck with is opening up the dialogue and having a conversation with them. And like we try to do here, is provide as much information as you have that you can, give to them, and then encourage them from that point. If any of that lands or, resonates with them, that they can then go and begin their own journey and do research themselves. Yeah. And I think much in the same way, perhaps rather than a militant approach of, you have to do this and all that sort of thing. Because I think particularly for younger people, when it comes to information and education, I think that a lot of young people benefit from feeling like they're part of the conversation rather than just having things shoved down their throat or dictated to them. So I think the presenting ideas and having discussions, like we said, at any age, maybe a little older than, like I said, 6-week-old or something, but just having these conversations and allowing them to participate in the discussion and ask questions that they would normally ask as well. So I find that, and even when Michael and I have conversations off camera, that a lot of what I get from those conversations is from asking questions and then getting relevant information to the things that I'm curious to learn more about. So rather than just, direct information at anyone, if they're anything like me, and I think a lot of people can relate to that, is they'll be a lot more receptive to a back and forth conversation. And then if there are things that they want to learn more about, they can go away and do that. So, but yeah, just opening up the dialogue, I think, is a really, really positive starting point.
And make it so they're allowed to talk about it. Because my generation, I'm going to play the generational card here, but my generation, you didn't talk about money. Like it was incredibly rude to say to your parents, how much do you earn? Or,
absolutely.
Any of those types of financial discussions. I lived in a slightly unusual family in that we had fairly open discussions about that sort of stuff. But I know from mates when I was growing up, they'd say, I'd never dare ask that sort of thing. So make it acceptable to say, what's this, and why and how, and so you've got to give them the freedom to be able to explore those difficult questions that sometimes you don't particularly want them to ask.
Yeah.
But they get in the middle of. It's quite openly known that I own several businesses, and not infrequently, if you talk to my family, the discussion will be across the dinner table about the businesses. And while the discussion might not be directed at the kids, it might be between my wife and I, or they might be listening into a phone call or something along those sort of lines. I don't think I've ever shot them down when they've asked questions about it. So they are very conscious and very aware and very, to a degree for their age, they're very business astute because those conversations have been had around them and they have the permission to ask questions about it.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going so far as to having a family gathering towards the end of this month where I will actually explain all the businesses, and we try and do this every 6 to 12 months, where I go through all the businesses and all the investments that we hold just in case I get hit by a bus. So right from the very young to my oldest son's 25, they'll all be in there and it's all fair game. They can ask any question they like, open the discussion up, and we'll either myself or my wife will answer them as best we can. And so that way, if I do get hit by a bus, they're not going, well, what's this thing that Dad used to talk about sort of thing, what do we do with it?
Such a common thing, people just find themselves in way over their head thinking, and I also didn't even know that, Dad had this other business and the phone's ringing off about these people wanting this thing. I don't know what to do. And I think there's a tremendous amount of value in that.
Like
approach.
I said, my family was fairly open with it, not completely, but fairly open with it. And I lost my father when I was 18. My younger brother was only 11 when Dad passed away. And Dad owned businesses, and I saw what that did to my mother, who really had no real clue. She wasn't interested. She just wanted to raise the kids. I don't ever want my family to go through that part of it. We've gone really deep down a morbid rabbit hole at the moment. We probably need to pull back on this one again.
Bit of a get to know you live today.
I wanted to hit this one, and I wanted to make sure we did it, so I put it in the...
Actually, before you do, there's a comment up there, a couple of comments. Ruben's rolling his eyes, but you remember Desi's wife having a baby while we were on live stream?
Yeah, a very brave operator watching the live stream.
Right, well, his
from the waiting room. Yeah.
The little girl is now 5 months old.
Really?
Or
Just
5 months in a week's time or something.
Yeah.
So, hey, congratulations.
So it seems like ages ago and yesterday, which seems to be very common when you're talking about kids.
Yep.
So congratulations, mate.
Yeah. Very good.
Sorry, Rubes.
No, you'll laugh at why, because this is one you've wanted me to bring up for a couple of weeks. This was a story you wanted to talk about in relation to Regis and a gold mine.
Oh, yeah, this is still hitting the news, this one. I ummed and ahed whether we'd talk about it, but
I'm gonna mainly lean it up to you to talk about. I didn't actually grab the articles because it covers a few different kind of angles, and I kind of wanted you. I can flash the link up for anyone that was curious.
Yeah, so
but
for anyone who's not aware, so Regis has been developing a mine in Queensland for a number of years now, probably a decade. And they were basically at the finishing line. Everything was done and dusted, the whole box and dice. And the government the federal government at the last second has gone, absolutely not, you can't do this. And look, I don't want to get into the politics of this because we're not a political channel. But the government pulled the rug out from under them. They've thrown literally millions of dollars, probably tens of millions of dollars into the process to try and tick all the government's boxes. They've done all the right things. They've got to the end, and the government's gone, yeah, actually, we're not going to allow you to do that, and pulled it out from under them, which is all very sad. And the reason it tied into this discussion was it's actually a gold mine that they were trying to develop. But I guess we get a lot of people coming in saying, is gold going to go down? Is silver going to plummet? All these types of questions. And it's things like this that make it... It's one area that we don't talk about, I suppose, and it's a little bit similar with property. I'm not going to go down the property line, so don't worry too much about that. But one of the reasons why I can be sure that things like gold and silver and, platinum and houses and things like that are going to go up in the future is because of all these types of things that happen around investments, around production, around labour. It gets dearer and dearer every single year to produce an ounce of gold, or to build a house, or to produce a kilo of silver, or to produce an ounce of platinum, or whatever you want to point towards. It gets more expensive every year. And things like this, where a company throws millions of dollars at the development of a mine and then has it pulled out from under them, it stops other miners from going in there and wanting to do it. They won't trust the Australian government anymore, so they're all going to start pulling back. So that affects the supply quadrant. But you've also got, in this case, Regis is going to say, well, we have to recover those funds from somewhere. So they're going to... directly or indirectly, they're going to put it across the spread of the rest of their mines and the rest of their production and say, well, okay, our cost base now, instead of being, $1,200 an ounce, is now $1,300 an ounce because of all the money we spent developing a mine that's no longer there. So if gold went down in price, they're going to say, well, it's no longer viable for us to produce anymore. It's now below our cost price, so we'll stop producing it. And we're seeing that happen right now with lithium, where the price of lithium has collapsed. So there was an announcement today about a major lithium mine in WA that's now, they're going to mothball it because it's no longer viable for it to produce lithium. And so, or spodumene or whatever you call it, it's base metal. So that will now reduce the amount of product out there. So, supply-demand equation, it comes back to the basic economics 101. There's less supply out there, it will go up in price. And that's why I can tell that gold, irrespective of inflation and wars and all those types of things, and I know what I'm talking about is indirectly a discussion about inflation, but all those sorts of things almost don't matter because the price to produce is going up every year. The price to build a house is going up every year. The price to get things through government is going up every year. And so that in and of itself will drive the price up in the longer term. Stunned
Very
silence in the room. Did I just lose everyone?
No, it's just been good to talk about it because, like I said, that's been on our list to talk about for
a couple of weeks running now. Yeah.
Comment from Mr. Anderson. Can BN do a video on holding precious metals in an SMSF? Really interested in how it works, unless you've talked about it.
No, we haven't. Look, it's coming up in the near future. In the future, I should say. This one's a can of worms.
It's something we want to do. Let's get that out of the way.
Look, the problem with SMSF is the government is so... there's so many government regulations around it that everyone's a bit cagey about going onto camera and saying, this is the way it works, because A, the government laws change every 10 minutes, and B, it's such, like I said, it's such a can of worms that if you slightly misspeak or someone takes you out of context, all of a sudden you're on the hook. It's one of the reasons why we splash, and it's a bit of a joke, why we splash everywhere, this is not financial advice, because if someone gets the wrong idea, you can end up in court. So everyone that we speak to is going, yeah, look, I'd really love to, but no. So look, we're still pushing our contacts. If someone in the chat knows someone that is willing to have a conversation with us about it that's qualified, absolutely contact us through live@bullionnow.com.au. We'd love to have a chat. We will do one because it's incredibly important. We will actually have a Bullion Now department that is going to look after people's SMSFs because we need that type of thing. There's a need for it in the community. So we need to meet that need. So it will come, but it's such a can of worms. It's got so many hairs on it. We're trying. It's a very slow process. It's not going to happen overnight.
Weary One says, is anyone else struggling to verify their accounts? Keep going round in a loop. Sent multiple codes to both email and text. And later they've confirmed that they are actually in Australia because I know we've spoken previously
US and Canada we get smacked for. Look, if you're having that problem, absolutely send us an email to sales@littlecoin. Which company?
Come on, get it together.
Sales@bullionnow.com.au. We will pass that information across to the IT team and they will be able to assist you with it. It's not happening often, but it is happening. So particularly if you can send us screenshots, that makes it even easier for the guys to say, okay, well, it's either operator error or it's actually on our back end and we can help you through it type of scenario. So don't be shy. Take a screenshot, send it through to sales@bullionnow.com.au. We will pass that straight to our IT team and we will get you verified pretty darn quick.
There was a couple of questions that came in via email this week. This one says, what would Bullion Now do if the spot price jumps significantly over a short period of time, or if you find early in the morning before you drive into the city that the prices have jumped significantly? Would you need to temporarily close the shop and temporarily stop online purchases so that you can determine what prices to charge and if you can replenish your stock?
I don't think you understand how early Michael gets up. When you say early in the morning.
and how little he sleeps.
Yeah.
Spot price can only move so far in a couple of minutes.
Look, the short answer is no, we don't. We run a business where we hedge pretty much constantly. At least we should, and we do. So we don't rely on spot price movements. We are hedged. We are aware of our hedging position. We are fortunate in that way. So if the price goes up, we buy. Okay, let me walk that back a little bit. So hedging means that we get. I did a video on this. Did we release that video, Rubes? Where I talked about bullion dealers and hedging and that sort of stuff. We did. Okay, so. If you haven't seen it, Ruben might be able to find a link to it and put it up there. But basically, when you're hedging, you're trying to maintain. We try and maintain a neutral position or an imaginary numbered position where we say, I need to hold this many ounces of gold or silver, whatever you're looking at, and that is my fixed point. So from that point, if you sell items, you're trying to immediately buy them back. So you're trying to get the same spot price movement. Or the spot price buying and selling at exactly the same time. And our profit comes from the premium. So the margin that you pay over and above spot, we don't get to keep it all, unfortunately, but a small slice of that we keep as our profit. So you can imagine if spot dropped, we sold an item, better example, we sold an item and spot goes up after that. If I haven't bought back that item that we already sold, by the time spot's gone up, we obviously lose money fairly quickly. So our objective of the exercise is to hedge. As it goes, as we sell, we buy, and as we buy, we sell, to try and keep that spot price always the same when we're doing transactions. We do that, and we do it fairly well. So we try and maintain that level at all the time. So if spot suddenly runs either direction on us, we don't care because we've already locked in the price, whether we're buying or selling it. We've already locked that price in. And we're either just waiting for delivery or delivery's already here or whichever the case may be. We have to do that constantly because spot doesn't have to run very far for us to lose money. So that is a constant thing that we're doing every single day of the week that the market's open. It's why Monday mornings are probably the most stressful time of the week for me because the market closes, the world market closes Australian time kind of around that lunchtime Saturday. And we can't trade again until Monday morning as a rule, about 8 o'clock, I think it is, where the spot price starts to move again. Now, if anything happens, and we had a situation a little while ago where one of the Middle Eastern countries lobbed some drones and things at another Middle Eastern country, and they did that after the market had closed, and of course all hell broke loose. And I think I even mentioned this online, but if I didn't, I'll mention it now. Our turnover on Sunday, so the shop's not open on Sunday, it's just our website turnover. Our website turnover went up almost, it was 30 or 35 times the volume was sold on that Sunday to a normal Sunday. It was humongous numbers. And that, I got to say, that day I was incredibly stressed, and I was dancing around a heck of a lot to try and hedge on very limited channels. All the hedging, like all the refineries and wholesalers that we use, instantaneously as soon as it was announced that this was going on, their spreads, so the difference between the buy and the sell, just went from, usually it's a couple of dollars with gold, it went to hundreds of dollars instantaneously. So you could hedge, but it was just, it just became uneconomical. So it's it can be a stress, but we don't get caught up in that as a rule. It's very rare we get caught up in it, maybe twice a year, and we still have to be very careful with it. If I can suggest, and I do suggest this in that video that Ruben's actually put up there, it's not an unfair question to ask your bullion dealer, do you hedge? If your bullion dealer does not hedge and does not hedge well, my strong suggestion is that you find yourself another bullion dealer, because they will not be in business for many years and they won't be there when you need them. And if they are there when you need them, their prices will be ridiculous, whether they're buying off you or selling to you, because they have to be to account for the rapid movements of spot price. So ask your bullion dealer. It's a fair question. It's not too intrusive. And if they do get offended at you asking that, again, I'd be out the door and on to the next one. Find out if they hedge and if they hedge well. And if they do, then they're a good bullion dealer and you should stick around with them.
The bullion bag has been travelling, Michael.
Again.
Excellent.
Seven just put a comment there saying, I hung a Bullion Now bag on the ancient coin display at the Colosseum in Rome last month. Thousands of people now have the Bullion Now bag in their pictures.
Perfect. Yeah, where's the pictures, though? Pictures, or it didn't happen.
That is beautiful.
They say they might do a video on it, so yeah, we might have to stay
very
tuned.
good.
There might be some...
There you go. It was still there an hour later. I'm just catching up with you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love it. I wonder how long it lasted.
That's a good bit of marketing.
Oh, that is pure gold, literally.
We need to talk about Perth.
Yeah.
I want to answer a question just before you do. There's a couple of times it's gone through about the half ton of silver we showed the other day.
Yeah, we spoke about that before.
Did we?
Yeah,
we did. I don't think we've been clear about it. So in that half ton of silver was a whole stack of 100-ounce bars. So hopefully we're going to do some decently priced 100-ounce bars next week if I get around to it. And the rest of it was part of the Series 2 delivery, Lunar Series 2. So you will see both of those coming up in the not-too-distant future. The other exciting news I'm going to hint at is there is a full ton. That was actually a half ton, even though I know people are saying it's a ton. That was a half ton. We've actually got a ton of silver coming in very, very soon as well.
It sounds like just an expression, though.
There's
a ton of silver coming in.
No, this is literally a ton of silver.
There is 1,000 kilograms of metal coming in.
Yes.
Woo.
Good fun. So, I don't know. We'll do a short with me sitting on top of it or something stupid like that.
That was the short that people saw you sitting on top of it in boxes.
Yeah, now you're going to have to cut them in half.
This will be a full ton, not a half ton. So you'll get the whole picture, not half the picture.
Perfect.
All right. Sorry I interrupted, Rubes, unusually.
Perth. We're going to Perth.
Are we going to Perth?
Allegedly.
Love it.
Yeah,
Can't wait to get there.
A few people don't want us talking about it because they're not able to attend.
Well, it's only a plane ride away.
And once you get there, it's free. So there's really no cost, really, technically. Yeah, other than taking the day off work and flying over.
Mental gymnastics going on there to get to that conclusion, but I like it.
Yeah. So we are hitting Perth on the 15th and 16th of September.
This month.
This month.
That's soon. That's about a week away.
So that's why I'm saying
week and a half. Monday week is the 16th.
Woo.
Why are we going, Matt? Tell us why.
Well, first of all, why not? Second of all, the bullion release of the Year of the Snake coins for 2025. So this will follow on from the proof release, which is about a week prior.
On the 10th.
On the 10th. But this is more exciting because we will be there, and there is going to be a little bit of a behind-the-scenes tour, of which I'm not sure that I don't even think we're able to film that, are we?
We have a...
We'll see if we can get some...
we can.
We'll see if we can get some sort of footage that you would not ordinarily see. So if you have visited the Mint before, perhaps you'll get to see something you wouldn't normally. But for those coming on the tour, you'll get it all firsthand and get to see some of the inner workings of Australia's biggest and best mint. There, I said it. Sorry, Ram. Sorry, I'm not sorry, though. There will be the designer will be in attendance.
I believe so.
Yeah, for a little bit of Q&A, which would be very exciting. We'll also get to speak with a member of the production team.
I believe so.
I hope. We'll see. And, we'll be there. So it should be a very exciting morning. This is hopefully the first of many jaunts over to Perth to celebrate, big releases like this.
Yeah.
We did need to clarify something, though, Michael. That was one of the other reasons we were bringing it up today.
Between the proof and the...
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a bit of confusion out there, and we've talked to Perth Mint about this, and I'm hoping that we can all do it a bit better next year. So they're actually releasing the design on the 10th, but they're only releasing the proof coins on the 10th. So the bullion coins will not be released anywhere in the world until the 16th when we're over there. They're holding them up for us to come and visit.
Perfect.
No, not quite. That was their date anyway. We were just fitting in with it. So, but they do this slightly odd split release where they release the design and the proof mints, the proof coins on one day, and then 6 days later they release the bullion ones, which is what we're going to be over there for. So it will be the first day that you'll be able to buy the Lunar snake for the year.
Yep.
So, which is very, very exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We should have got a live snake. I'm just realising this now.
No,
maybe there's still
not.
time.
No, we should not. I'm a farm boy. I'm not a big fan of them.
We'll see. No guarantees.
Yeah, not a big fan. So, hang on. You just completely lost my train of
You're all
thought
flustered.
now.
Everyone's freaking out. All right, there will be no live snakes. I've said it. Everyone's still come along.
Yeah.
That's right. There was one of our viewers that had their 4-meter scrub python.
Yeah, jeez.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I know they're all part of the wonderful world of animals, but I really they're not right up there near the top for me.
Me as well. Yeah, that's fair enough.
I'm not a big fan. Alrighty, so the Sunday night, what are we going to do on the Sunday night?
Yeah, so Sunday night we will be spending a little bit of quality time over at the Grosvenor. For those that are unfamiliar, it is directly opposite the Mint.
Diagonally
opposite the Mint. If you walk out the front gates, it's over to your right. So we will be having a bit of a, what's the word? Just not a full-scale shindig. Just a
shin.
Just a shin. We'll just be sitting around, just sort of, gathering our thoughts before the morning activities. So if you happen to be in the neighbourhood, and the rumour mill has churned out a rumour that we may have some, I don't know what the word is, some exciting, familiar faces in attendance. There you go.
Band stuff, or
maybe us, maybe. Who knows? Might even be someone or a few people from the Mint. I don't know. I'm not going to commit to anything, but I'm just saying it's possible. It's close proximity. So who knows?
Yeah.
It should be good.
It should be a lot of fun over there. So if you've got tickets, great. Get yourselves over there. We've got incredibly limited numbers. We didn't want to freak the Mint out by taking, the whole of the Bullion Now family across there. So it's very limited numbers.
If someone wants to come and they don't have a ticket yet, is there any way that they can, or are we...
Yeah, look, if you flick us an email to live, L-I-V-E, @bullionnow.com.au and say, look, I'd like to go on the waiting list, we will try and squeeze you in the luggage. We'll try and get you in through the door.
Mm-hmm.
The flip side of that is if you've actually got a ticket and something's come up and you really can't make it, if you could let us know, that'd be great, because we do have some people that are trying to come. So... we will try and get everyone in that wants to come in. but we are very limited with numbers there. So just send us a hi. You know, I haven't got a ticket, but I'd really like the chance to come to that live at bullionnow.com.au. And if anyone pulls out, we'll absolutely offer you a ticket, because things happen. We understand that.
And what a great promotional thing. And we need to somehow tie that in. That if you watch the live stream, you get access to stuff like this.
Yeah.
I don't know any other, companies in Australia that are hooking people up with behind the scenes mint tours. That's pretty cool. That's unreal, actually. So good on us.
That's right. Yeah, look, I mean, it's taken I'm not trying to take anything away from Perth Mint here now, because it's full marks to them for getting this done. But it's something we've had in discussion for a couple of years now, so it's great to see it come off. Is dinner included at the Shin on Sunday night?
Well, we were saying it was a post-dinner shin because it's informal. Once you start to, and this is me. These are the things that keep me up at night. Once you add a meal into it, then we need to make bookings. We need to factor in how many people, what structure it is. So my suggestion, feel free to, if it's a resounding no, it has to be a dinner, we can look into that. But I said, well, it'll just be some evening catch up, have a few drinks or whatever, and then that'll suffice. Because we tie ourselves up in knots over these things. Because you remember when this was announced, Michael's saying, "Oh, we'll do a breakfast," and now we need to get a caterer in, and we need to facilitate that.
Well, I still can't find a caterer.
So that's why we've had to say, let's just cool our jets. We've got the main event happening, which is the tour of the Mint. So we'll do a low key catch up on Sunday, and then we'll just enjoy ourselves. Because next thing you know, you've got omelets flying around the Mint. We're getting yelled at by staff because,
somebody slipped over on a tomato.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we get these great...
The next bullion release comes out with bits of lettuce in it.
That's what happens. We do these... It's a problem. It's a double-edged sword of doing these things on a Friday afternoon. You catch us in a moment of weakness. We start promising these wild things, and we land in Perth and say, oh, we've got to organise this and put our chef's hats on and start cooking up a storm.
So what time are we going to the Grove?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Come on down, and we'll just have a low key shin. We'll catch up, just have a little bit of a chat about life and times, and hopefully get a reasonably early night under our belts, because we've got a big morning the following morning.
Matt seems to think an 8 o'clock start's an early start, but hey.
It is nuts. But we're going back. We're going back in time when we're over there.
It'll be 10 o'clock for you, mate, so don't stress.
That'll be fine. Yeah. All right. So it's going to be a huge night then.
Despite what Matt's just said, I'm flying over there, and I have less than a lot of faith in the airlines arriving on time. So I'm planning on actually having dinner at the Grosvenor independently. So
Michael will be off in a corner by himself. Ruben and I will be there living it up.
I'll still be there, but I might be munching on a steak or something while I'm there for the drinks. So if you're wanting to have a meal there, there'll be several of us, I suggest, will actually be having a meal there, but we're actually going just to catch up and have some drinks after.
It'll be very casual and informal.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
All right. There's a couple of important questions, I think, that have rolled through while we've been talking about that I want to make sure we hit. One is from Abu Sufian. It says, is there a gold shortage? Try to buy 1 ounce Perth cast bar.
I saw that one go through.
At Bullion Now.
Yeah, mate. Oh, I wish the answer was there was a gold shortage. That'd make this a lot easier and a lot less embarrassing. Well, it's not embarrassing, I suppose. We just can't get enough of the Perth Mint gold bars in. They go out faster than we can get the mongrels in. So, it's not that there's a gold shortage. It's just, Perth's a lot further away than a locally produced bar is. So we're having a little trouble with supply from that perspective. It's not that they're not coming in. It's just that they're going out so quickly. I'm hoping to solve that problem in the very near future. But at this stage, it's I think, if I'm not incorrect, I think they're either off our website or they're up for pre-order at the moment, because we just can't keep up.
Cool.
And Doug Stack says, website's very slow at the moment. Tried calling and emailing and have requested a call back. Is it a busy day?
It's Friday.
Yeah.
It's Friday, so yes, it's a busy day. Fridays always are. But you'll also probably find the website slow down because of the
50 cents.
the 1966 special. So everyone's jumping on there.
And when you officially sponsor a day, word gets around.
Yeah.
It all escalates. It's nuts.
Like I said, I was dead serious when I said I was 2 minutes late. And all I was trying to do was fight through the crowd out the front of BN to get into the studio. It's Friday's always chaos.
Any word on the Great Southern Land series or the Super Pits?
Is Lucas doing the next Super Pit?
No comment. I don't actually know on that one.
Maybe we'll find out. We'll go over to Perth and we'll do some
We
detecting.
I'm sure that I gave that Great Southern Land. I'm sure I gave that answer a couple of weeks ago because I got an update on it. Ruben's looking confused, so maybe
Yeah, I'm confused as well.
I am sure that I've had that confirmed.
Follow-up one for you, Matt, while Michael's chasing that.
Yep.
Is Bullion Now or Matt going to the Adelaide Coin Expo?
Not that I know of. The Adelaide show is always a good one. At the
Is that the one that we
Torrens.
randomly called?
Yeah,
one?
We did. We actually, that's a fair question. Yeah, because we have been there before. That was a bit of fun. That was sort of like
We're doing our Australia
giving you
World
guys
Tour.
a bit of insiders to my life.
Yeah, doing the Australia World Tour, and we're in
Yeah.
Adelaide, and it's like, hang on a minute, there's a coin show happening
Yeah.
down the road here.
Yeah, funnily enough, the scheduling aligned perfectly.
Yeah.
But I don't
You've got to
believe.
wonder, don't you?
Yeah, funny that. I was pushing for an obscure, weekend, but no, we won't be attending that. But it's always good fun if you live in Adelaide. Get on down and support the industry. It's good fun.
Kebab King says, hey boys, I'm going to be in Melbourne in the coming weeks and want to pop by.
Cool.
What's a good quiet day to come in?
Friday, about 2:30.
No,
Don't.
they say roughly, because I can understand it can be very temperamental.
Yeah, look, Mondays, depends what happens on the weekend, but quite often Mondays are pretty frantic. Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, it tends to calm down, and then Fridays goes off again. Mornings are usually better than afternoons, and skip the first half hour because usually there's a queue in the first half an hour. Then, we deal with everyone that's trying to get drop by before they go to work. Then from about 9:30 to about 11, it can be fairly quiet, and then we start to build up for the afternoon, the lunchtime and afternoon rush after about 11:30.
You need a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Subject to change at a moment's notice with no
Yeah.
rhyme or reason.
It sounds like they were aware of that in there.
Yeah.
They understand
Because
it.
this all sounds good in theory, but you could turn up at 9:45 and there's a queue out the door.
Yeah,
Because,
look-
Well, the problem
there's
is
been...
if you say to everyone watching and the thousands that will watch afterwards, hey, this is the quiet time, and they all go, oh, cool, I'll come in then.
Yeah.
All
Suddenly-
1,500 of them come in.
Exactly. So
Suddenly you've
based
just changed your
on
quiet time.
based on
Yeah.
a general Tuesday, I reckon I would agree with that.
Yeah. So Fridays are chaos. Mondays can be chaos. Saturdays it's open slather, and we never know. I made a classic, and Brett's still not let me forget it. I don't know. It was probably 2 months ago now, where I went, you guys, there's not much happening on Saturday. You've had a couple of quiet. There was 2 or 3 Saturdays where they were really quiet, really quiet. Saw half a dozen people for the whole day, and we had 3 people on. So I said, look, guys, the rush has stopped. Obviously, the weather's taken everyone out, and it's quieting down a bit. So because the guys, bless their cotton socks, most of them are working 6-day weeks every other week to keep us open on the Saturday. So I said, look, why don't we pull back to 2 staff members, so there's, you guys are getting more of a break rather than having to work, every other Saturday at least. You might only have to work every 3rd Saturday sort of thing. And so we went to that, and literally the very next Saturday, there was only 2 people on, and they meant to shut at 1. I think they got out at 3:30. It was just, when I logged on, I said, I was looking on the camera at the queue, and I sent a text to my wife saying, 1 o'clock, the boys are meant to be shutting. There are 17 people in the queue.
Jeez.
That was on top of the people they were already serving inside the shop, which was chaos. So, yeah, Brett was on that day, and he's given me a hammering ever since about any time I go, so how's Saturday? We need at least 3 on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, fair enough.
So there you go. That gives you a little more insight as to why maybe Tuesday morning's the play.
Yeah, 9:30
Yeah.
to 11 o'clock, somewhere in
Yep.
there.
That's the long answer to your short question.
Yeah.
There was another email question I wanted to hit. It said it was talking about the unallocated and the upcoming platinum snake. It said in a previous live stream, Michael mentioned that he'll be allocating some of the platinum snakes to people that have purchased unallocated for this purpose. I'm wondering how these orders will be taken. Will we have to phone up? Is it a separate ballot, or can we email and save one?
I have a feeling I said hope. I didn't say I was going to. At least I need to go back and review the footage, because I certainly didn't mean to say we definitely will. It really depends on allocations as to what we get allocated and how we can split that up. But I will make my absolute best effort to make sure that there are some put aside for, and that's gold, silver and platinum. Some put aside purely for those who want to convert their unallocated to the snake, because I know a lot of people use the unallocated program to save up for the Lunar release later on in the year. So we will endeavour, but it's a hot ticket item. It's very hard to get hold of. So I will endeavour to accommodate where I can. And I'll actually do a video on when we get the allocation and we sort things out. I'll do a video on, if you've got unallocated and you want to convert it in, do this and we'll put it in a priority order.
I think we need to start hitting some of these questions rapid fire. There's a few still here to go.
Look at the time.
The time has flown by pretty quickly.
When will our video with Backyard Bullion come out, Rubes?
Yeah, what gives?
So we were originally talking about it being this weekend, but I have been off pretty much all of this week. If you've noticed a bit of a lack in Bullion Now videos.
He was sick.
You probably
Happens to us
I
all.
noticed the improved suntan though.
Yeah, with the sunglasses outline.
The things I can't even defend myself. I'm not getting in front of the camera. But it sounds like we're talking probably midway through next week at this stage. Just got an email before, so but we'll wait and see on that front.
Why is there a sock on the shelf behind us?
Gonna go for a
That's
close
one
up?
of the questions.
Yeah.
From Stephen Bay. Are we going to bring it over? Are we?
Yeah, we're gonna do a close up of the frog in the sock.
You're going to do it that way. Yeah. So that.
Yeah,
can't work backwards.
your whole life gets inverted.
Michael goes off the saying, going off like a frog in a sock, and we have the frog in a sock.
Can someone send us a prawn and a sun? Or is this Emma that organised this?
Yeah.
I said
Emma,
to
we need
Emma
a prawn
at
and a sun.
dispatch, I said, I want a frog and I want a sock for the background. She said, I'm on it. And that day...
Okay. If you're watching, Emma, I'd like one prawn and one sun, please.
Alrighty, let's start to go through these. Michael, what's the best family chariot when you're expecting a third kid?
Well, for us, it was the Kia Grand Carnival, but I don't know what they're like anymore because it was many moons ago we bought one. We actually bought two when we blew up the first one because we gave it absolute hell. Short answer, I know, Rubes. We towed a caravan around Australia with it. We went bush with it. I took it four-wheel driving, and it lasted the whole lot, did 300,000 Ks, and eventually gave up the ghost. And we loved it so much, my wife insisted on buying exactly the same, like 10 years later. We had to go out and find a 2009, I think it was, no, 2007 Kia Grand Carnival to replace it, the exact same model.
Really?
She wouldn't let me buy a new one. Sorry. Quick questions, quick answers.
This one's dangerous as well because it's talking about
Rapid.
flights. Do you know if customs have issues with carrying a couple of ounce gold coins on overhead on domestic flights, i.e. Melbourne to Brisbane?
No. As in, they don't have a problem, not that as in, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have travelled many times with precious metals on board. You sometimes have to explain it to security when you go through because they'll go through the x-rays. If they want to see it, just request a private room. If they don't offer you one, it's not sus or anything like that. They're quite happy to do it. I've said this many times. The only place I've ever had a hard time with it is Hobart, believe it or not, which still makes me laugh. But every other airport around the world I've been to, everyone's been more interested in that, wow, look at that, rather than that you shouldn't have been, because you can carry them legally. It's perfectly legal to do it. No one has an issue with it. And particularly with the new three-dimensional scanners they've got, usually they don't even call you aside, they just wave you through. Sorry, Rubes.
I hate being that guy, but...
Rapid, a million questions, 10 seconds.
Yeah. Do we know a reputable dealer in the US that buybacks at spot?
I don't know their buyback policy, so I'm going to have to shut up on that one.
Are we filming in the Melbourne CBD store now?
Right next to it in the studio.
Any US gold coming?
Well, it depends. Brand new, yes. I thought we were talking buybacks for a second.
Oh, no.
Yeah, brand, yes, there is.
Desi's trying to pin you to an answer on how long the 1 ounce gold snake will last.
Usually lasts longer than the silver. It doesn't last anywhere near as long as the... the platinum sells out within a day or so. The silver usually takes a couple of weeks. And not even really a couple of weeks. And the gold usually lasts about a month.
Any sneak peek on the snake coins?
No.
How is the Sydney bar signing going?
Good.
Yeah, I think so.
How is the $3,744 price of gold affecting Australian buyers? It seems high.
Seems high now. Wait a year.
Exactly. Seems high compared to what?
Yeah, that's right. 2,000 seemed a lot a while ago.
Looking forward to discussion on taking gold through airports, especially international. So it sounds like we definitely need to do
We've
a
got the
video on
contacts for it. We need to do that. We just got to find the time.
that. Michael, do you hire all your staff yourself? Whatever you do works.
I'd like to say I hire them all myself. I certainly talk to them all, but usually I refer to the guys on the front desk or on the phones to say, do you know this person? Have you dealt with them before? Usually, if anything, they are the ones that have the ultimate decision on it. I might propose a name and they will either yay or nay them.
Can Little Coin Shop get 1 2-ounce Double Dragon Mother of Pearl gold proof so I can use my unallocated to purchase it?
Absolutely. So if you contact...
And careful, we have said before, no unallocated.
No, this is a special scenario. I'm happy to do it for them. If you flick me a specific email, so send it through to live at Bullion Now so Rubes gets it and it doesn't get lost in the mishmash of sales.
I think that's becoming a mishmash with all of the...
possibly is. But I can kick Ruben, whereas the other one's me. So, send an email to live, explain exactly what you want. I will get it organised and we will make that one happen.
What Lunar Snake coins will be out on release day?
In the silver, the half ounce, the 1 ounce, and the 2 ounce. In the gold, the 1/10, the quarter, the half, the 1, and the 2.
I'd say that's getting fairly standard at this point. It seems to be the.
So they're missing the 1/20th and the 10 ounce in the gold, and the 10 ounce and the 5 ounce and the kilo and the 10 kilo in the silver.
Germania Mint 1 ounce goldies incoming.
They should be soonish.
Will there be another delivery of the Minted Dragon Bar in the packaging? Michael mentioned there might be one last delivery.
Yeah, I believe there is.
That's exciting. There was the question before about the if Bullion Now would ever do a gold back, like current, the gold backs. Would we ever do a Bullion Now version?
We've actually talked to the makers of goldbacks about doing one. It never went anywhere, but I'm going to go and see them again when we're in Berlin, and maybe something will come of that.
Any gold maples incoming?
Probably, but not for a while. The silver ones just arrived, the 2024s.
Sounds like Ray has received their Sydney bar, which is good stuff.
Hey.
Any update on the Perth Mint 2024 Wombats?
It's fairly soon. I want to say it's November, but I might be wrong on that. No. I can't remember. Ask me next week.
And Seinfeld or Fraser?
Fraser. I'm a bit of a Fraser fan.
Oh, yeah, I'll go Seinfeld. Look at that, division.
There you go.
And I think that's us to the bottom there.
Yeah, super.
Rubik's Cube coins are here, but they won't be coming back into stock because we are well and truly sold out of those.
Yeah, so if you had previously put in an order, they'll be coming through, but sadly we don't have any spares to be able to continue to sell.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. One of the other things I said I would give a shout out to is our X account, previously known as Twitter. Alex here has been doing a good job running that. So if you've been seeing some of the posts he's been putting up of some different bars and things and coins that we've had hanging around, be sure to give him a thanks over there. I think someone sent a message saying they wanted to thank him directly. So,
Peter Vic, slide your question in now, and we might be able to answer it before Ruben cuts me off.
Yeah, hit it.
Go.
Got to be quick though.
Got like 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. That Twitter X account, I'm amazed about the number of people on it, but also it seems to be a different mix as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, looks really good.
I don't know how to use it. It goes over my head. Same with Reddit. Internet's a crazy place, fellas.
Reddit I
Horses-
steer away from. but
Yeah.
Horses for courses. It's one of those things, people float to different places.
Yeah, absolutely.
Peter, hit it.
Yeah,
Ask
come
your
on,
question,
Peter.
mate.
We're dragging
Let's
it out,
go.
trying to get your
Places to
question.
be.
Sounds like there's not many of the 1966 coins left, so the website should breathe a sigh of relief in a second.
Yeah, that's right. I'm hoping they last. I might see if I can dig out some more and list some over the weekend for the people who aren't watching this live. So,
Yeah, go dig out one of your Hessian bags from 66.
yeah,
Very good.
that'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? All right, I think Peter.
We tried,
sorry, mate.
Peter.
Try
Unreal.
next week, and we'll try and give you an answer there.
Or send it through to live@bullionnow.com.
Even better, and then Rubes will read it out for you. So thank you very much, gents, for tuning in. For being here.
Yeah,
Not just tuning in.
Sort of tuned in.
Thank you, everyone, for actually tuning in. That's what I was trying to say there. It's been great, and it's always great to get that interaction that we get from everyone here. So it really does make it feel more like a family, which is good fun. We will be back next week, same time, same channel.
That'll be our pre-Perth. Yeah.
It will be. Lots of good fun, lots of good videos coming out in the next week. New releases. We've had some international stuff arrive. We've had the Series 2 arrive, so keep your eyes out for those. Hopefully I'd really like to see those released early to mid next week, but it's a huge job getting all the listings up and all that sort of stuff. So stay tuned on that one. We've got our first 2025 coin has arrived, and we shot the video on that today.
Cool.
So feels weird. Feels almost. I said on the video, it's kind of like getting hot cross buns on Boxing Day.
Yeah, that's very keen.
But as Ruben pointed out to me, Perth Mint releases their 25s in a week and a half. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Just the way things are now.
So keep your eye on the channel. Lots of good stuff coming out next week as well. Thank you very much. We will see you next week.
See ya.